Today on Mercedes Garage, using diesel fuel additives for your older and pre-2000 Mercedes-Benz on Mercedes Garage. Hi and welcome back to another episode of Mercedes Garage. Today we're going to be talking about using diesel fuel additives. This is primarily for older diesel vehicles because I'm not 100% sure if you have a newer diesel vehicle, you probably should call Mercedes or the additive manufacturer if you could use it in a newer car. So we'll make life easier for everybody watching this. We'll just say from beginning of diesel to 2000. If you have a car that's 2000 and newer, don't use this until you contact the manufacturer or Mercedes to ask them if it's safe to use. So from 2000 and back we'll be talking about. So one of the biggest problems with diesel today is the new diesel fuel with the ultra low sulfur and the low sulfur diesel, which is primarily ultra low sulfur, not low sulfur. What happened is that ruins the lubrication that the diesel had that was needed to protect your fuel pumps, fuel lines, and O-rings and lubricate your injectors and your diesel fuel pump. So one of the products that you could use is called Redline, and it cleans out your injectors and it lubricates the fuel system. Now the one I've used forever was just Redline, or then it became Redline Diesel Fuel Catalyst, which they no longer make the diesel fuel catalyst. I'll show you a picture of the new one, which will be appearing right now, either here, 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 or here. That will show you which one it is. It's called 85 Diesel Fuel Catalyst 85 Plus. A little bit of a long title. It's basically the same thing as diesel fuel catalyst, except it has a little more anti-gelling agent in it, according to Redline's website. Yes, there's other products. There's an STP fuel injector cleaner for diesel. I've used it, but it never worked as well as the Redline. And the Redline also somewhat, not 100%, but we'll say 90%, will prevent the algae from building up, which that is a common problem on older diesels and probably even newer diesels. I am not familiar with a newer diesel, so please don't ask me too much about them. I know some things about them, and I know that once you get into the AdBlue and which is basically urine, urethra, it becomes a totally different thing, and I'm not sure if these additives will work the same, so take that as a precaution. This is primarily for older diesels, which it also gives you back the lubrication that the old diesel used to give you. So it will protect your fuel lines. It will protect the rubber lines, not the metal. Metal's fine. It will lubricate the injectors, the injector pump and the fuel pump will all be re-lubricated. So basically, every fill up with an older diesel, you have to put a little in, which if you use the red line, it comes in the bottle. It's in different sizes. Don't get the giant one because you'll drive yourself mad knowing how much to put in. It's one bottle does 40 gallons or 50 gallons, but then it says you need one bottle for the initial cleanup. So it really depends on how bad it is. If you haven't treated your fuel system in a diesel for years, you probably need to put 2 doses in it. Not all at once, but put one in, run the tank out, put another one in. I think that's what I did years ago, when I was having some knocking with it, with my 81 240D. Like I said, then you would always have to put in, every time you put fuel in, diesel, there's little notches on the bottom, lines on the back of the bottle, and probably just one of those lines, about that much of the bottle, maybe a little more, if you notice it's a little weak on power or something, because you want to keep the lubrication in the fuel. That's the importantest thing to do, is to maintain that lubrication, because if you do not maintain the lubrication in the fuel, what's going to happen is you'll wear out your injector pump, which we're just talking about the 123, 616, 617 engine. There is no new ones. So if you have a problem with the injector pump, you're going to have to hopefully find somebody who's able to rebuild them, which I think there's 1 or 2 people out in California that does the rebuilding of them. Maybe in Europe there's somebody who does them, but in the Northeast or in the South or in the Plains, Midwest, there's nobody who I know of who does that. And then you have to take it out, and hopefully you know how to take one out. Wait for it to come back. So try not to get into that position. Plus, then it kills your pump, it kills your O-rings, and it's when you're dealing with an old car and an old fuel system, it's probably best to let sleeping fuel lines lie, because once you open up that can of worms or that can of fuel, you're going to have constant, well, okay, I replaced this O-ring, then now I'm replacing another one, now I'm replacing another one, now I have to replace that line. So, is it foolproof? No. But will it add some more lubrication to the fuel if it doesn't have any anymore? Yes, because of the ultra low sulfur diesel. Will it clean your fuel injectors? Yes, it depends on how bad they are. If they're total, with solid pieces of metal or from the fuel, rust from the fuel tank, or algae bad, it's not going to do it. You're going to have to manually take them out and clean them, where they're carboned up. But if it's generally, it should clean it up. Now there's another product called Moly oil, which I have no experience with using it. I've heard people like it. That's the diesel fuel. There's 2, I think, with that one. I'll put a link, not a link, and show you which ones those are too. Like I said, I have no experience with this. I don't know if I've had Redline in that car since 1981. I don't know if it will have a reaction to using both of them. Maybe somebody could leave a comment in the comments section if you could do that, because I would like to maybe try to do a diesel fuel purge on my 240D. It's something that people talk about all the time, and there's numerous YouTube videos out there on that subject. My only fear is I have Redline in there, and that's a totally different product. Now, the Moly oil does not clean the fuel tank. That diesel fuel purge is done from the engine to the fuel injector pump to the fuel injectors, not from the fuel tank, fuel line, pump, fuel pump, diesel injector pump, fuel injector. So it's bypassing all of that. So you're not, so this could be all dirty, but it cleans the engine. So I think they have one. I'll have to look, and I'll put a link and a picture of it, that cleans the entire fuel system. And I'm not sure if Moly oil makes one that cleans the entire fuel system as opposed to just the fuel injector pump and the fuel injectors. So that said, those are the two products that I know of that work the best for your older Mercedes diesel. There's a point, probably I would say 2000 is about the latest that you could go with any of that stuff, because the engines changed, the pumps changed, the fuel lines have all changed to newer styles. So that would be best left to ask the manufacturers of those cleaners and Mercedes. So that said, thank you for watching. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Please comment below if you liked it or if had any experience with using any of these products. If you know about using Moly oil diesel fuel purge when you've had Redline in your car for the last 40 years. Not the same Redline, but used it constantly. If it's compatible with each other, please comment below. The other thing is, thank you for the 39 subscribers. Thank you very much for subscribing. Keep subscribing if you like these videos. If you don't, please comment below, and we'll see if we could talk about something else, maybe a little less boring. What else? Keep enjoying your Mercedes-Benz. Keep on motoring with your Mercedes. They're great cars. They can be a little temperamental at times, but a little understanding of how they work and how to service them. They're no different or any worse than any other car out there. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.